pattern is dedicated to Earth and all its wonders. Now we're looking for filmmakers who share our passion for the planet with the Pattern Earth Film Challenge. Submit your short film that focuses on our changing climate, eco-innovation, or sustainability for a chance to win $10,000. Plus, have your work featured on the Weather Channel and join our mission to inspire others to help shape Earth's future. Go to pattrn.com for details.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Montgomery, Alabama. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel. Hey, the sun is out now. It's a hot, humid day. The moisture's coming back, but by tomorrow here, it's going to be very, very stormy. First things first, let me show you the latest forecast and the cone from the Hurricane Center as of 11 a.m. Eastern. Update on the track at 5 Eastern, so about another 3.5 hours away. You can see the cone arcing off to the right. Now, don't focus on the center of the cone or the cone itself, really, because the action is going to be from the cone well off to the east. As we're going to have the heavy rain threat, the threat of some tornadoes and some gusty winds, we do have the tropical storm warnings now from Morgan City, Louisiana, all the way to the Okaloosa-Walton County line in Florida. So that includes Mobile, south of here, also Biloxi and Pensacola Beach in those areas. Because this could become a minimal tropical storm, it would be named Claudette before it makes landfall late tonight and early Saturday morning. So the inland impacts will be virtually the same here. Rainfall and gusty winds and potentially a few scattered power outages. But before we get to that tomorrow here, we've got a lot of severe weather and a threat tonight for a lot of straight line wind damage and power outages. Let's get the latest now from the Northeast through the Midwest. Back in the studio.
Thank you, Mike. The tropics, they're not the only thing heating up right now. Severe storms are starting to fire up across the Midwest, too. And this is a look at some of the overnight storms in Omaha, Nebraska, as well as Chicago. And we could see much of the same tonight. And we've already seen some storms this morning, especially for Ohio. That will not offset what we're going to see later this afternoon and evening. The atmosphere is going to have plenty of time to reset. So let's talk about the areas that we're watching the most closely for storms this afternoon. Anywhere from Springfield all the way to Cleveland. What you see in dark red, that's where the highest threat for severe weather is. And I'm most concerned about the straight line damaging winds as well as the flooding threat that will ongo through the overnight hours. What we're seeing right now is a line of storms pushing out of Cincinnati, out of the Columbus area, still in Ohio, but weakening as they push to the southeast. A lot of lightning on this southern end of this. If this does hold together, Charleston, West Virginia, you could see quite a bit of lightning and some rumbles of thunder in your area and some light rain. That is weakening as it pushes to the southeast. We will see a lot of available energy in the atmosphere today. That's going to reset with the daytime heating, destabilize in those peak heating hours, and that could lead to a threat of isolated tornadoes. The Torcon today, 3, so not a huge threat, but certainly not 0. Isolated tornadoes possible as these storms first start to fire up this afternoon and later into the evening hours, with Cincinnati and Columbus in that threat, what you see in the pink color. So let's take a look at this hour by hour, what we're looking at as far as the threats. It's going to stay quiet until about 5, maybe even 6 o'clock in the evening. The closer that we get to sunset, that's when we start to see these storms fire back up again. What you see just to the west of Columbus. Again, this is 8 p.m. That's when really this starts to fire up, initially staying pretty isolated. Then we start to see clusters of thunderstorms, and when they start to line out, that's when we see that straight line damaging wind threat, where we could see some wind gusts on the order of 70 miles per hour. So definitely have a way to get those warnings overnight. This will continue, and the flash flooding threat is also a concern with some of those training thunderstorms. And whether you're facing severe storms like what you'll see in the Midwest or the Northeast, or a tropical threat like the one taking aim at the Gulf Coast, one thing that you can count on is the threat for power outages. Meteorologist Mike Bettis has some safety tips to keep in mind if you find yourself in the dark.
Strong storms can bring power outages. So here are a few things you can do to stay safe when the power goes out. Without power, you can break out the generator, your grill, or some other similar item, but make sure to use it outside in a well-ventilated area to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide is an odorless and colorless gas that can be deadly. The water supply can also be compromised during a power outage, so check with local authorities on the safety of your water and boil it if recommended. According to the CDC, if the power is out for less than 4 hours, the food in your fridge is probably safe, but keep those doors closed as much as possible. But when it comes to food, when in doubt, throw it out. If the power's been out for more than a day, it's best to toss out any refrigerated medicines. If they're life-saving, use them, but get a replacement as soon as possible. If it's hot and you don't have air conditioning, look for a shelter that does, something like a mall or a store, or maybe take a cold shower. Fans alone don't really prevent heat-related illness. As with any storm, make sure you have an emergency plan and a disaster supply kit that covers you, your family, and your pets for at least 3 days. Better to be safe than sorry.
Well, now it's time for your day ahead forecast. Today we're headed to Philly for the Kidchella Music Fest. Kids of all ages are welcome to enjoy live music on the playground. Sounds like fun.